welcome to the Scott Show podcast. This is Scott here. We are talking about the NCAA in the lower divisions. So we're talking Division 3, Division 2, and the Football Championship Series, which is a little bit, it's lower than the bowl games. We got some great games coming up this week. We got some surprises that happen, and the playoffs are coming. In fact, on the 19th of this month, we will be having some special shows as we announce the big matchups for the playoffs for all three of the divisions. So we start in Division 3, and we go to the top 10. Washington and Jefferson, 8-0 at number 10. Wittenberg at number 9, 8-0 as well. Linfield at 6-1, number 8. Number 7 is St. John's at 7-1. Number 6, Hardin-Simmons. And their only loss is against Mary Hardin-Baylor. And we have Delaware Valley. We have St. Thomas, which has one vote for first place at 7-1. Wisconsin-Oshkosh at 7-0. Mount Union at number 2, 8-0. 5 votes for the number 1 ranking. And then in number 1, first place has been all season, Mary Hardin-Baylor, 8-0, 46 votes for first place. Folks, this is amazing as we are getting closer to the big bowl games that will be coming up and the big playoff games that will be coming up for these teams. And Mary Hardin-Baylor has not, their hardest team was the number 6 Hardin-Simmons, and they're going to be looking at a really hard and difficult road when we get to the playoffs. Then we go to Division 2, where we have a big-time fall in the rankings, and people moved up. It was huge, so check it out here. As we have Assumption at number 10, 8-0. They move up from 12th place. Then we have Texas A&M Commerce staying put at number 9. And oh, how the mighty had fallen from 1 to number 8 now. Northwest Missouri State loses on Saturday, and they are now number 8 in the nation, not number 1 anymore. Central Washington at number 7, they are 9-0 on the season. Fort Hays State at number 6. Indianapolis at number 5, 9-0 on the season, mind you. Midwestern State at 7-0. Indiana, Pennsylvania at number 3 at 9-0. Shepherd, and by the way, Indiana, Pennsylvania got 2 first place votes. Shepherd got 22 first place votes, but comes in at number 2. And the number 1 ranked team in Division 2 college football this time right now is Minnesota State Mankato. They only get 10 first place votes. They are 9-0. They actually beat Shepherd by only 2 points in the picks. But folks, when it gets down right to the wire, they both look like they're going to the playoffs, unless there's some big time defeats coming up here. Division 2, they do not play a lot of conference championships, so you have a lot of co-champions. So we will see what happens later down the road. And then in the football championship series, they actually did something really weird. They came out with the top 10 and they named them on ESPN. So we're going to go to that top 10. This is the college football championship series that named this top 10. And I'll give this to you here right now. As we have number 10, our great friends at South Dakota State University, the Jackrabbits, 6-2 on the season. Number 9, Northern Arizona. Number 8, Wolford. Number 7, Elon. Number 6, we have Sam Houston State at 7-1. South Dakota at number 5. Central Arkansas at number 4. Jacksonville State comes in at number 3. North Dakota State comes in at number 2. And number 1 has been all season and has been in this rankings, James Madison. Yeah, we have a look here at James Madison, and North Dakota State. And James Madison has 3 games left to go. They played Rhode Island, they play Richmond, and they play Elon, who was number 7 ranked in the nation. And North Dakota State plays South Dakota State this weekend for the Dakota marker. They play South Dakota the weekend after that, and Illinois State the week after that. So it does look like a tough road for both teams. We will see what happens, but if the Jackrabbits win over both, you might see them go way higher in the rankings, as there's still a lot of football to play, 3 weeks to be exact. But if they take a loss, are they going to make the playoffs this year? And let's hope that they do, because we got a lot of great friends there in South Dakota State. A big shout out to all our great friends in South Dakota State, all our great friends all around. We have some awesome people. We have some great games coming up this week too. And for that, we go to Fox Sports. Actually gives us some great headlines here. And a big game coming up, North Dakota State versus South Dakota State. The Jackrabbits and the Bison will be facing off for the Dakota marker. This is one of the big games of the year. There's also a new team looking to inch themselves in to the playoffs, and it is, or to the divisions, and that's Virginia Lynchburg. The Dragons are going to have yet another game against a division in the football championship series, a division team. So here we go, and they play Tennessee State, the Tigers, by the way. So let's look at what we have here, folks, as far as really great games for the week. We have Brown versus Yale, as they play tonight at the Yale Bowl. We have James Madison against Rhode Island, as I said before. We have Lehigh versus Bucknell, which will be a phenomenal game. Albany versus Stony Brook, and that looks like it's going to be a great game in there in Laval Stadium. Youngstown State, which is a 3-5, and they're not looking that great this season, but they had a really, really tough road. They will be facing off against Indiana State, the Sycamores, at 0-8, so hopefully Youngstown State pulls out the win there. Campbell, the Fighting Camels, 5-4 in the season, they will be facing off against the Wildcats of Davidson. Then you have the Delaware Fighting Blue Hens against the Maine Black Bears, and they are in Maine for that. Towson is going to be playing Elon, and so that will be a game at Rhodes Stadium in Elon. There you go. One of my favorite teams, the New Hampshire Wildcats, 5-3 on the season, will be facing off against William and Mary the Tribe. The Coyotes of South Dakota, 7-1, will be facing off against the University of Northern Iowa. The Panthers, 4-4 on season. They are playing in the Unidome. And then we have Jacksonville State. They got a game against Murray State this weekend. And other games that are of value and importance to what we got going on here. As I said, the big game, though, is the Jackrabbits against South Dakota State against North Dakota State Bison for the Dakota markers. Check that out. Liberty is playing off against DuQuoins, as they will be playing in Williams Stadium at Liberty University. We do have Houston Baptist playing off against Nichols, the Cardinals, 6-2 on the season and looking for yet another win. Northern Arizona Lumberjacks against the Montana Grizzlies, and this is in Grizzly Stadium, so that might be a very interesting game. And North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks against the Southern Utah Thunderbirds, 6-2 on the season. And then we have a game of absolute proportions of somebody's got to win this one. It is Portland State, the Vikings, 0-8 on the season against the equally 0-8 California Poly Mustangs. And they'll be playing 9:05 in the West Coast. So I just want to give a big time shout out to all of our friends, all the great people that follow our lower division show that we do here. And we will be back. A big announcement though, we will be following basketball and hockey. We'll be coming to you once a week, more than likely on Fridays, with the NCAA lower division show, and we'll be covering the top 25 each week. So when the basketball season starts, we will be covering that as well as the rest of football. We will be with you guys on the 19th of November, where we will have the lists of all the playoff games with Division 3, Division 2, and the football championship series. Catch all of our great stuff, TCW Fantasy Wrestling, over on the wrestling side. We have our Scott Show wake-up call every morning, 8 o'clock. Check us out, folks, and you guys have a great day.